Ladies and gentlemen, to the cool kids desk. So, we are back. Sorry, we're having fun now. Well, so we brought you the community updates, of course, at IEM. So, it is going to be Millenium versus Fnatic. That is up next.
Oh, yeah.
I believe you have something you want to show us.
No, I don't have nothing.
No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right,
No, okay.
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
That's okay then. You keep that hidden.
Yeah, after the game I probably saw it. After the game, let's see if it's...
So, Millenium versus Fnatic. Big game, I guess, in this group. You know, Fnatic, very much versed. We know what they've done. They've come into this tournament, the second IPL 5, which was an absolutely incredible tournament to get second place into because that field was so strong. They won in DreamHack. They won at the Thor. They're coming into this one full of confidence. Reckless, last tournament for Fnatic, so they're going to be going out with a flourish. How can Millenium stop them?
I think Millenium is a group of guys, really high elo, really individual skill, amazing players, and I really like them. I think he's one of the upcoming European teams, one of the strongest upcoming teams. So I really have a lot of trust on this match. Going to be epic for us. Like I think it's one of the most beautiful matches you can see right now in Europe.
And we always talk about the matchups of the teams, but let's not forget that you can win a game by just winning all the lanes really hard. And we have Anguish in the top lane. We have Tabs in the mid lane. I mean, are they going to leave
strong players
open? Yeah, exactly. Fizz or Katarina, he's very strong.
Well, let's take a look at the teams. I believe we've got the graphics up for them. So, I mean, Fnatic to begin with, coming into this one, they've just got so much confidence in them. Is that, can that be a bad thing? I mean, overconfidence can be a bad thing, but coming to this tournament, they're oozing with it.
I think they have confidence, but still, if you talk with them, you realize that they are not confident at all. They are like, we can lose against anyone, we can win against anyone. So they are like.
But that keeps them grounded. That's a really good thing to have. And actually, you know, I was talking about this with N-Rated. I've been playing with N-Rated a bit lately with the Season 3, and there is the screen. I mean, Soaz, XPK, Reckless, Cyanide, N-Rated. These are fantastic players. Soaz, honestly, I would probably put him as the top laner right now. Honestly, in the world.
In the world. Mm-hmm.
Salmei, yes, very good. Can be a passive farmer. Shy, Zibu Frost, absolutely amazing. But honestly, Soaz and Stanley, I'd probably put them two on the top.
I think coming like for individual skill, individual players, like for example Reaper, his Jax is amazing.
Yeah.
There are top laners that just play one champion like in amazing level, but then you came to Soaz, and he plays like how many champions?
I know,
10,
that's
20?
it. He's got such a
everything.
huge pool of champions he can play.
I'm really expecting to see like Karma top, like Soraka top. See what he's going to
Karma top. That would definitely get people talking about this tournament. But of course, you know, Reckless coming into this one, we know, everybody knows now, he can't play in Season 3. He's too young. It's a fact. It's a sad fact, but that is the rules of the rules. He is only 16, and he's only just turned 16 as well, coming into this tournament. Coming into, I think it was just before DreamHack, wasn't it? He turned 16. But the guy is so grounded. This is a 16-year-old kid that has just beat CLG EU 2-1. Went and won the Thor Open. Got second, stomped Taipei Assassins. Season 1 champions versus Season 2 champions. And the guy is so grounded. He could be such a cocky kid, but he really isn't.
There was a little bit of talk about a Facebook status he posted where he was celebrating a victory. But let's remember that he is 16. And other than that, he's been absolutely quiet. And yeah, you're saying it. I mean, I've been talking to him a little bit, and he is really calm. And that can be a huge asset in a game as well.
It can be. So there's Millenium on your screens. You can see the big grin of Anguish right in front of you. That's Heidel next to him, isn't it, I believe?
No, it's I'm So Fresh.
Across. Oh, it's I'm So Fresh. Of course it is. I'm So Fresh, MVP of Tales of the Lane. Yeah, and there it is. I'm So Fresh, Tabs, Heidel, Anguish, and Kraton. Kraton, we've talked about possibly, we think, the best AD in Europe at the moment. I wouldn't say the world, because Wei Zhao is just light years ahead of anyone in my eyes. But in Europe, we definitely think he's up there. We're talking, obviously, Genja in there, possibly Yellow Star. You played with him personally. You know, so there's some top ADs in Europe, but you put them up there.
I will say, like, mechanically, I think he's the best. Then if you talk like in terms of move the team or in terms of positioning, probably he's not the best, because I see like Yellow Star, Genja, like positioning and moving the team like perfectly, like completely correct and doing the perfect thing in every single second. But then, like in laning, Kraton, he does no mistake, like 0 mistakes. He harassed the enemy, he farmed, and you don't realize how much he does. Like, I don't know. I saw him with his ex support Super Ace, and it was like Kraton doing like a lot of stuff, like harassing, like less hitting, like pushing the lane, like freezing. It was for me
just controlling the lane completely. And how do you compare the two junglers? Obviously, I'm So Fresh and Cyanide. How do you see these guys? Obviously, you see these guys daily in solo queue.
I think I'm So Fresh is like probably really aggressive jungler. He likes to like invade early levels, level 1. He loves to invade level 1. And Cyanide is more focused on a team comp, on a late game comp, and probably he's the most famous smiter or stealer of all the world. I think every tournament he
pulls off some clutch steal for 1v5, dives into the Baron pit, and gets that steal. Cyanide is so famous for that. Do we think we're going to see Jarvan, Jungle Jarvan, this Cyanide's main sort of thing he pulls out now and again? Even he pulls it in season 2.
I don't know in season 2 how it's going to work. I think season 3 is better. Jarvan, not season 2. He's not that strong.
So, okay, in terms of picks and bans, we're going to be coming up to them in a moment. What are we expecting to see from these two teams?
Well, I will say Fnatic is going to ban like 99% sure Jax.
Yep.
He's probably the strongest Angus pick in top lane.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like 99% ban. Then we could probably see, depending on who is the first pick, I think Millenium is first pick. So we probably see Fnatic banning Diana as well. And then probably they're going to ban something like Sand or Fizz. From part of Millenium, they could probably ban Syra. We know N-Rated play amazing Syra.
One of
as
the
well
best,
as
one of the
Blitzcrank.
strongest. Yep.
So let's see how it's going to go.
So we are going to get into the picks and bans. There on your screen is
Not quite
Millenium. I nearly called them Eclipse here. They, I'll be forgiven for thinking it. They did just move from them recently.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were second place at Tails of Lane. Three members of the team, I guess you could say. It's 3 members of Eclipse, 2 members of Curse EU merged into form Millenium, the new team. This is their very first tournament. You can see a headset being adjusted there by Angus on your screens.
I think it's just 2 members from Curse EU. It's just
There's 2. It's just Angus and Kraton, and 3 members from Eclipse.
They did pick up Fat Mama from Black as their support/sub/coach. That's how you described the stuff to me earlier today. And Kraton apparently is having some problem. He quit out of Champions Select there.
Okay, well, I mean, you can see them on the screen. They're just adjusting things, so that's no problem. So what are we expecting? Picks and bans. Okay, so we think Jax is going to get taken out. Diana's going to get taken out. Anything particular that they want to pick here? What sort of team comp do you think they're going to aim at?
I don't know. I would love to see a comp of Millenium. They were practicing lately with some kind of a strange junglers. I don't want to say the names, but let's see if they play
That's what you're here to do, man. Don't just keep those facts hidden away. The people at home want to know.
I hope to see Kale jungle.
Kale jungle.
Yes.
I hope
we saw I'm So Fresh run it on the season.
But is that more of a season 3 thing than a season 2, though?
Exactly.
It works in season 2.
It works in season 2.
I know there is one guy in solo queue.
Play it yourself, or you ever tried it much?
I tried. It's fine. It's like ridiculous amount of damage and
because you've got a great range slow. You've got the invulnerability.
In level 2, if you gank a top lane, when you get level 2, if you do like instantly red buff and then gank top, it's like almost a free kill. Because enemy is level 1, you only have flash, and if you slow him, the flash is not enough. You have like perma slow with the red buff, and it's so much damage. So probably I would love to see Kale, and then we have to think about a Fnatic AD carry, Reckless. He played on IPL.
Yeah, I have a question about it before we go into this, because that's the one thing I've been wondering about Reckless the whole time. People are saying he can only play as Will and Vayne. What are you saying about this? Is this a weakness for Fnatic?
That's a lie. I saw him playing Caitlyn, amazing. I saw him playing Ass. There was a time he was like 24/7 playing Ass.
Okay.
Only playing Ass. Like
I wish you'd put H stronger on the end of that, because that just sounds funny to me.
I don't know.
I mean, he's only a 16-year-old kid, but I wouldn't like to see him playing Ass.
I would love
Ash,
to be honest.
I believe is the word you're it's okay. Ocelot doesn't like Jays. It's New York, man.
Yes, he.
I had to throw it in there. Much love, Carlos. Much love. So the picks and bans underway. Zyra, Rengar being banned out. Jax and Evelyn also being taken out by Fnatic. So We do see Diana still in there. We were expecting Fnatic to be banning that one, though. So final pick ban for Millenium.
Let's see the 80.
Are they scared of the Vayne?
Ezreal. I don't know. I think Kraton is so comfortable in bottom lane. They're not gonna ban anything. Like probably that's a problem because you feel so confident.
Cut ban maybe if they don't want to run it. Oh, Blitzcrank.
As I said.
I was just wondering if you
I said Syra, Blitzcrank are the strongest support from Unrated, and they
2 support bans then. That's pretty nice. But I guess Picker can run Syra mid too, but mostly Syra these days you think of her as.
Does this mean they're going to try and first pick Leona maybe? Because they've left Leona's main champion open, which is Leona.
I think lately is more like Syra Blitzcrank. He was playing on IPL and
trust me, it's Leona.
Oh, Lee still lost.
I've been playing with him for 3 days. He absolutely adores and loves Leona and anything that ever is associated with it.
Season 3 though, where there's no heart of
No, even season 2 as well.
Really?
I mean, he's the most famous Leona player that I can think of, and the fact that they're banning, I spoke to him at IPL, and he was basically saying, you know, it's great that they're banning. They're targeting me because everybody else is getting free picks and bans, and there is Diana insta-picked.
Love it.
What do you run against the Diana in mid lane?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Actually, I'm trolling. No, they
Season 3 patch is what you need.
Yeah.
That's what you run against.
Black Cleavers, it's fine.
Cho'Gath
Everything
again,
works. No, I think it's Saga jungle and Ezreal, the famous Ezreal of Reckless.
Yep.
I guess they're gonna pick like Corki for bottom lane for Millenium, and then probably they pick Sen for top lane for Angus.
And what do you make of Heidel being the support now? Obviously, he used to be AD carry of Eclipsia.
He was really good AD, I have to say, and I don't know right now as support, but I guess like everyone who understands how to play AD knows pretty much how to play support.
How to play support, yeah, knows what the player is.
Exactly.
And I know they've been playing with each other for a good few weeks anyway, like be it ARAMs or normal games, they've been playing together. So it didn't come as that much of a shock to me that they've suddenly all merged together as one. What did become as a shock to me is the fact that Extinct and Maluna were not involved, because they're both amazing players.
Yes. I guess they didn't have space in those roles.
There's only so many spaces.
Also, let's remember that Eclipsia was the team that qualified for the spot here at IEM Cologne.
So there's 3 places.
They needed to have 3 players from Eclipsia to be able to play as Millenium.
So it's going to be another Xin Zhao again in the jungle. Didn't work out 100% for Mouse, but
it's still one of the strongest champion in jungle, Xin Zhao.
Why are they waiting so long to pick their AD right now?
I guess Kraton feels confident, so he tries to counter-pick depending on the enemy support. If enemy support go like Leona, you cannot go Vayne. But if enemy support go like, I don't know, Soraka, Janna, or Sona, you can run Vayne and pretty much like try to carry the game. Because Kraton mentality is like, I have to carry this game.
It's a very, very nice thought. That's why we've got you here.
This is exactly why we've got you here. So Ari,
I will say you have me here to troll me from the from my ash.
We have you here for your ash. That's
then,
right, man.
Here we go. Here we have Leona. That's not a really.
So you can't go Vayne now.
But you can, of course you can, but it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
Corki's easier now. Corki can just Valkyrie out and it's fine. Even Graves is fine.
So yeah, Leona being picked in, kind of expected, and I think honestly, Fnatic right now are very, very happy with their picks. And what are Millenium going to do? The last 2 picks to go.
The only thing I don't like at all is the Lulu pick. I think they pick it really fast because I still think they're gonna they go Vayne and probably Sen.
Vayne into a Leona, so that means that Jason and Joe should spend a lot of time watching that bot lane to see how she reacts to being engaged on by Leona. So that's going to be happening quite a bit. I think Pekka is going to be very happy with the Ahri mid. It's something that he plays very comfortably. He can keep his distance from Diana and should be generally fine there.
And I should point out, more importantly, the fact that Fizz was open, they did go for Diana. Diana is just that strong right now.
It's really strong. Fizz is harder to pick. You cannot pick Fizz against everything.
So Aurelia getting locked in, as is Vayne. So they've got a strong team if they can start getting the kill snowball in. What are we expecting? Last top laner against an Aurelia.
I would love to see Jace. I would love to see the soul of Jace. But who knows?
He
Maybe
broke
Karma?
it out in the regionals, didn't he? The EU regionals, that's where he pulled that Jace out. Of course, Shen does work as well. But honestly, this is Soaz we're talking about. There's not really many champions that I don't think he can play.
Yeah, he can play everything.
He could go Annie.
Could go any top versus Aurelia. That's something I think I'd pay to see. But there are the teams being locked in. What are we expecting here? What are you seeing? Anything strong that's sticking out to you that makes a team stronger than the other?
Well, I want to say that Millenium are either going to win this with snowballing the Vayne. Otherwise, I prefer the Fnatic lineup.
But I don't think you can snowball with Vayne against Leona, against Ezreal, and against Sen. Because you have Sen, and you have also Cho'Gath. Because Cho'Gath, he runs like almost always mobility boots.
Right.
And Xin Zhao doesn't go mobility boots. So you will have more presence of your jungler, you will have Sen ultimate, and you will have a strongest bottom lane, like is Ezreal Leona. So I think in bottom lane is going to be a lot of action.
So if you were Millenium right now, what would be your strategy? What would you like to do in this fight?
Fed Diana.
Fit Diana.
Fed Diana completely.
Okay. Well, let's see if that happens.
Let's see if they do, ladies and gentlemen. So the game is going to get underway. It is here at IEM Cologne. $50,000 up for grabs between these two teams. We've already seen SKT Telecom in Group 1 take a game against Mousesports. There's Fnatic on your screens right there. They are on the main stage. They're in vision, and they are ready and waiting to go. And honestly, the confidence they have coming into this tournament probably exceeds them right now, and they're probably just oozing off the stage. I mean, have you... I was about to say, coming in from a tournament that you've won, but...
Okay, second point for Demon.
That was not what I meant to go, but it came out that way. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, the game is underway. You can see it right there on your screens. Let's get over to Joe and Jason for all the action.
So we are in game then, Fnatic versus Millenium. First game for both of these teams in Group A of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the pause from the start of this one. For Millenium then, we have Heidal on Lulu, I'm So Fresh in the jungle on Xin Zhao, Angush on Aurelia, Tabs in the middle on Diana, and Creaton on Vayne. And for Fnatic, we have Cyanide, the master of stealing, which is all that much easier with a Cho'Gath. Yep. In the jungle, of course. PK with Ari, Soaz on Shen, Reckless on his favorite Ezreal, and N-rated also, as Demon rightly pointed out there, on that Leona. I think he was the first that really started playing this Leona, along with Yellow starting against Authority. That was back at Intel Extreme Masters World Championships 2012 at CeBIT.
So Joe, which team do you have winning this game? We were talking a little bit about it while the analysis test was going, but...
It's really hard to call, in my opinion. I mean, Fnatic, as Demon rightly pointed out, they're confident, but they're a very grounded team, you know. They're not... ego explosions after doing so well in the past tournament. So that's something that works definitely in Fnatic's favor. Millenium, on the other hand, they're obviously a new lineup. Technically, three from Eclipsia, 2 coming out of Curse, which can work in both ways, in my opinion. You can have this whole we've got nothing to lose mentality, which can often push you in. But either way, we are going to see this invade happening here as Angush forced to flash there. The charm will actually land, and this is going to be first blood, and it's gone to Reckless right from the start. What a start for Fnatic. Reckless's last tournament, because he's just a wee lad at 16 years old, and obviously is not old enough to be playing in Season 3 then, but my God, is he good.
It makes me ask myself, what did I accomplish when I was 16, Joe? But it looks like they still are sticking around here, trying to take this blue buff. Might be able to catch Millenium.
Fred's going to get taunted on. There's another charm landing, and it's the second kill going over to Cyanide. After they've invaded, got a kill at blue buff. Why would you ever face check that bush? I'm sorry, but...
They really wanted that blue buff.
Well, I mean, he didn't technically face check the bush, but he might as well have.
That Fnatic
might as well have.
Well, for me, Fnatic, I mean, you can't give Reckless Ezreal. Period. I mean, you saw him at IPL 5, how deadly he was with it, and that, in my book, makes it so Fnatic's actually going to win this game quite easily. But we do see boots, actually 5 boots currently for Fnatic on your purple side or red side if you're, well, if we're running on this way. And on the other team, we have 4 boots. We have those 3 wards, 3 health pots, and 1 mana pot in the bottom lane for Lulu. And it looks like I'm So Fresh going to be starting out his own red buff here. And we will see Sonic go straight for his blue here.
Yeah, and we are seeing that lane switch coming into effect as well. Ezreal and Leona in this top lane up against Aurelia. Down in the bottom, it's going to be Shen against Vayne and Lulu. So we'll see who gets the best of that one. Obviously, the extra range that Shen's going to have with that Vorpal blade probably could help him out, as Heydal actually getting engaged on here by Soaz, who may just have enough to finish him off. There is the Ignite actually coming down. The slow not really doing that much, but here comes So Fresh. Flash over from Soaz. There is Vayne getting in on the action, and that is a kill for Creatine on Vayne. And we talked about how important these AD carries are going to be. Creatine, possibly the best in Europe right now, which I think one man who'd have a lot to say about that is Reckless, to be honest with you. So the fact that these kills going early on to the AD carries is going to make for a very, very interesting game.
And not to mention, it's a Vayne. I mean,
yeah,
she gets strong just throughout the rest of the game because of her now how hyper carry she is. But if you feed her kills early on, Shen bot lane English or Soraz, gonna have a really hard time going up against this in this little bit of a lane switch. But top lane, we do see CS right now. Reckless sit at 19 or well 20 to the 15 of Vayne, but in the top lane, Aurelia at 0.
Looks like one of my games after 20 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
But obviously they're going to have a hard time. I mean, Shen's just died, so he was out of lane anyway. But he did actually pick up the 2 assists, obviously, from earlier on. We can see that Fnatic already forcing the pressure down on towards this top turret. But in the middle, we are seeing So Fresh going very, very low. Couple more hits and he's dead. It's Cyanide that picks up that kill. He will say thank you very much for that red buff as well, which has obviously been reset. And, well, this top lane, it's just going to be pressure, pressure, pressure. 9-7 now. Is the CS, obviously, as they were forced back on towards that turret, giving Aurelia that easier time to be picking. Now, meanwhile, Vayne did go back. They're going to come back in with a single Doran's blade on top of the boots. But Cyanide in the jungle, 2-0-1, is going to be looking to make a big impact on this game with Cho'Gath.
Yeah, we talk about the kill spread, and like you're just saying, 2 kills for him at the moment. He has his ability to get his GP10 a little bit earlier if he wants, or he can go for boots mobility, gank around as much as possible with all those flashes being blown in the beginning. Angus still doesn't have his up just yet. Cretan currently does not have it. I'm Traverse as well, so he could actually make a lot of ganks happen and force the well, pretty much all of Millenium to play really passive and set them really far behind, which if you can do that to a Vayne or an Aurelia, you take that any day. But we do see Cyanide going to be going for his red buff here, and we'll pick it up. He almost is level 5 at the moment. And when he gets level 6, his ganks are just going to be disgusting because of that Nom. You really don't expect that.
Oh, look at this down at the bottom. Heydal going very low. We've actually seen Leona and Ezreal coming in from the side. Soaz actually says, well, I'm done with this one. I don't need to get involved in it. But not quite in there. Heydal flashed after it actually missed. That was like delayed reaction somehow, which, you know, kept him alive in the end. And Jason, I am 2 seconds behind,
yeah,
so, which annoys Jason. You know, he has these little phases.
Sorry. In the meantime, though, Cyanide holding that top lane, as we do see Soaz currently heading back up there. And what do you think's going to happen in this top lane now? Because we have Soaz 1 death, 2 assists, to Anguish, who has 1 death. And then there's an 11 CS difference.
Well, the interesting thing is that Fnatic realized, I think, that Soaz wasn't getting enough CS in this bottom lane there.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, let's just change it around. He's actually almost double the CS behind Aurelia in that top lane. So they're going to have to get in there, shut this Aurelia down as quickly as they possibly can. Cho'Gath was around the top, but it's gone back, picking up those boots of mobility, plus the Heart of Gold, and a pink ward coming in. So that tells me he's ready to start ganking this top lane with that pink ward to get rid of a ward that might come out of Aurelia. She's actually got none down at the moment, and none in her inventory either to be putting in position, but that's certainly an option for Cyanide on Cho'Gath, as we are seeing down in this bottom lane there. Reckless doing good damage again to that turret. Vayne just trying to force them both away, but Reckless playing this one really nicely.
And so I just want to go back to Cyanide real quick, because you talked about his pink ward, but I think that's actually going to be for Dragon. If he can clear that out, he can help his top lane quite a bit with that extra gold income, a little bit of extra experience, and he's moving so fast with his 476 move speed. Pink ward does go down on Dragon, and he just needs to get a little bit of more experience just so he can finally go for it. But Tabs in that mid lane, I mean, this is very scary if Cyanide comes in, because he will ding level 6 off, well, I think 1 or 2 minion kills to do have Ahri backing away. So he will get level 6 just off the minion wave pushing, and that could spell a potential Dragon. I mean, we have Shen in the top lane, Soaz going to be level 6 very shortly as well, so when he has that ultimate up, he can easily get down to Dragon if he needs to.
And then just going back and forth here, Soaz and Angush. We can see down in the bottom there by Dragon, that pink ward down has spotted I'm So Fresh's position, and rightly so. Fnatic backing right off underneath their turret from this one. Interested to see how Soaz versus Angush ends up going in this top lane. Actually, Angush does have the experience advantage over him right now. You can see just trying to bully him as much as he can out of this top lane, stop him from catching up with that CS, which Soaz has done a great job. I mean, if anyone's going to do it in that top lane, it probably would end up being Soaz, and he's actually now 5 CS in the lead. And down in the bottom. Ari's actually just waiting up here on the side, is level 6, so does have that ultimate available just to dash in, and there are no wards in position, so this could actually get really, really nasty. I think that Millenium have kind of sniffed that something's not right here, the way that Fnatic are playing this one, just freezing that lane out as much as they possibly can, and PK is pretty much losing time in his middle lane there.
He's committing a lot of time to that lane, but still, it's letting Sunlight farm in the middle. It's actually forcing the team to play a little bit passive and back off. We do see Cretan going for his double golems, which you typically do as an AD carry when your lane's pushed out. I'm just go back and take care of that. And I'm really surprised to not see that dragon coming out, since we do still have the pink ward sitting there. We just signed at level 7 at the moment. His feast up going to be in 10. They have such an easy dragon taking team, and yet they're not going for it.
Yeah, I think they're still a little bit worried about where that Xin Zhao is. They don't really have much vision around anywhere in his jungle, to be honest. I mean, Shen's got this ward right up in the top side. There's that pink ward by Dragon. But that is it for now on Fnatic's side. And Ari is now headed finally back in towards this middle lane. Does have that blue buff available. That's going to be plenty of spamming out there on that front. I wonder if Diana's actually going to go down there. She was stood on the bottom side of that middle lane, but I think deciding, no, I'm going to stick around here for the farm. 59 to 51, currently a lead there for Diana in this middle lane. Top lane is still nicely in favor of Irelia, who's just come down, picked up that big Wraith as well, so really trying to steal away. Oh, actually, the Wraith's still alive. I just tell a complete lie with that one. But that's at least going to be stealing some stuff away from Cyanide and even from PK in the middle. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, we are going to see the ultimate coming out. Creatine falling fairly low, but they didn't really focus that one as well as they possibly could. And that was all because we saw the flash coming out of Heidel to get him away from that Leona ultimate. Otherwise, the Ezreal ulti may have been just enough to secure the kill again for Reckless.
Oh, there it is. We do see Taz being pinged out. He's trying to run away here. Does actually have his flash up and his ignite.
Wow, Diana is ridiculous. Actually did get stunned there. Rupture will come in as well, and they may lose Creatine from this one. Has actually used his ulti now. It's PK who's in a spot of bother. I'm So Fresh in there as well. We did see Vayne die there to the ignite of Ari, and I'm So Fresh is going to get the kill on towards Ari, but will he escape from it? He's got plenty of mana. Cyanide not got the Rupture off cooldown there, and couldn't quite get in to finish things off. And in the meantime, we are seeing Diana hunting down Leona as well in the top side of that bottom river. So kills all across the board here. How have they fell to the team? So we see Diana 1-0-0, 1-1-0 on Vayne from earlier on, and also a kill for I'm So Fresh on Xin Zhao. Meanwhile, on the other side, PK picking one up, and there was that one earlier on for Reckless, and the two also earlier for Cyanide. So that leaves us at 4-3, 1,200 gold lead right now for Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic looking, I mean, they're looking really strong, even though that, what is that at the bottom?
Yeah.
And that is a dead Lulu.
Not Leona. Yeah, dead. And that's the danger that you've got against Reckless, because he will positionally destroy you, I think we can pretty much call it with that one. I think I just made up a new term that really didn't make much sense, but in my head,
I liked it.
Sounded perfect. So in that middle lane, we just saw Diana was forced out of lane. Shen's actually coming in as well, so they may go for this one. And Tabs is not paying attention. Actually, he came through the bush, so of course he's not seen it, but Tabs is going to die. And the kill comes down for Cyanide. Taking a couple of turret hits in the process there from either side, but not really making too much of a difference to the health, and that will clear up Dragon for them at this point. There is a ward there, so there is vision down for Millenium. The question is, can they actually do anything about this Dragon? I don't think that they're really in a position to say anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, we have Anguish in the top lane right now. We have Soaz backing out, it looks like himself, just to defend there. But yeah, I mean, with Cyanide, who's, in my opinion, one of the best stealers of Barons or Dragons with the Smite. If you give him a Cho'Gath, like you're saying earlier, Joe, it's just, there's no way to steal anything from him. So they will get the first Dragon, and we'll lengthen this goal lead here, as we do have Xpeke and Rated being zoned away from their tower. But we have, surprisingly, Cretan in the mid lane now, trying to apply some pressure, while Reckless still in the bottom, pushing it out as much as possible. Has a BF sword, has Ninja Tabbies on top of that, which is pretty much a perfect item to go against Vayne, since she auto-attacks so much. And the kills, I mean, it went over to Cyanide, which isn't the ideal person you want it to go over to. Obviously, you're not going to, let a kill go just because it's not the right target, but that is a lot of stacking towards Cho'Gath. He's going to be very tanky because of it, but still, I mean, Ari could probably use it. Reckless in the bot lane, 2-0-1, looking very good for the rest of this game. And Fnatic just overall, just looking very solid.
Yeah, and Reckless has got a good lead in terms of CS, over 20 for him now, so that's a dangerous position. Don't want him to get too fed on that one. Certainly we saw the likes of IPL, DreamHack, just how good this guy is, especially with Ezreal. which we've seen time and time again him perform flawlessly. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Angush going head-to-head here with Soaz. And I say head-to-head, but Soaz is actually pretty much just running away from that one. Angush just chasing in there. Soaz, though, he is pretty damn tanky with that Chain Vest in there, plus the Giant Spell, and they're trying to bait Angush out here. The Rupture is going to fall. Where's the Nomad from Cyanide? It's going to be coming in here. No, not quite. Did he have it on cooldown?
Yeah,
yes, he did.
Cooldown.
34 seconds still on the cooldown, so couldn't get in there to finish off that kill, but may just force Angush to back away a little bit out of the lane. That's
a great ward, actually, by Angush. If you see in the top lane, he put it in that tri-bush, because you typically see junglers come back around. He was forced to blow that flash to get out, but great play by him. Still going to be able to survive here under tower. Going to be farming quite a bit. At 97 to 83 CS in the top lane. And bottom, I mean, just look at Millenium. They're being zoned off their own creeps.
Yeah.
Because they can't go head-to-head against this. There's so much CC coming out of N-rated. Reckless, amazing damage. I mean, considering how far ahead he is, but he's also a great Ezreal player, like we've been saying. Oh,
Ignite up in the top lane there from Angush. He's actually using the umlaut above his U, so technically he's Angush today. Just a nice little fact for you, Jason, on your quest to finally learn some German.
I've learned a couple of words.
Yeah, and they're not really repeatable
on
air. That's the problem. But meanwhile, down in this bottom lane, N-Rated just went through the bush. He's like, wow, I should probably escape from this one. He is going to go down, though, and look at the amount of damage coming out there from Millenium, and that's the danger of Diana. You know, she's got so much, like her kit is so awesome that you know, it's hard to ignore in terms of the bans and certainly the picks if she's open, which we've already seen coming out a couple of times today. Meanwhile, they are chasing up towards this blue buff. It was started off by Fnatic. PK here just trying to do a bit of damage as he goes, but along with Cyanide, I'm not sure they can go in 2 versus 4. Cyanide is obviously pretty strong as Shen is coming in. There's the Ezreal ultimate as well. Kriaton going low. 2 of them die already. There is the 3rd. Number 4 comes around, and what an absolute brilliant turnaround from Fnatic. That's what you talk about. I said it myself. I'm not sure that 2-on-4 is really worth it, but you forget then that there's Shen in the fold. He ultimate straight in there, saves 1, manages to help with the kills as well. He's now 2-1-6. Then you've got Reckless, who just ultis across the entire team, then joins into the party as well. And that will leave Fnatic 10-4 in the lead. 21, let's call it 22,000 gold to 17,500. They are starting to forge themselves a nice lead.
That fight just shows how good Fnatic is as a team. They've had so much time to practice together. You know, they saw Blue Buff being contested. They were outnumbered, but they called it. They made they moved on their instinct, and they came out ahead, you know, taking 4 kills for no deaths. So, I mean, look across the scoreboard, Shen 2-1-6. I mean, yeah, he's been having a hard time on that top lane, but those 6 assists and those 2 kills completely evening that out, as he's about 900 gold ahead of Aurelia. And then the jungle, 3-0-6. You could have asked for a better, you know, scoreline for him, as he does have the Aegis done, still has those boots of mobility. I mean, Ari 2-1-6 has the Needs Large Rod, and actually building towards, it looks like, her Chalice with that Meki's Pendant. And then Ezreal, Reckless. Infinity's Edge, Joe.
Yeah, Infinity Edge. Which we actually saw him coming out with IPL rather than going for that more popular Trinity Force build there. He's just going straight in towards damage from auto attacks. As Angush and Soaz here going to be meeting up. Soaz has got a double buff on, which obviously he doesn't want to lose, but maybe that's enough power for him to actually be hunting a kill here onto Angush. Slow coming down, but Soaz going to be chasing in, and all he needs is that 1 auto attack to you know, get the slow off from that red buff, which in the end doesn't chase for. Soaz quite happily here, just going to go into his farming. He is almost caught up now to that total that Aurelia built up earlier on over the top of him.
And actually, it looks like English is actually going for, a Wit's End. He has that recurve bow, which isn't a bad item for him. I mean, they have a lot of magic damage on the enemy team. You know, you have Ari, you have Ezreal, even have Leona, so it's going to help prevent that, but what do they need to see out of English? They need to see some damage. He has to obviously get a little bit tanky just to deal with how fair the enemy team is, but I mean, with his current farm, with no kills, no assists, it's going to be extremely hard for him to get the items he really needs. We've seen the bot lane, though, they actually engage.
Yeah, in towards Heidel, who's going to take a lot of damage. Here comes the Ezreal ulti. He's dead. I'm So Fresh is not going to escape either. The Nom comes out of Cyanide. Can they get in onto Kriaton? It's all going to be about the Rupture, which he flashes away from. The Zenith played out of range because of that as well. But here comes Tabs. Here comes Diana. But Shoga, he's so tanky, it's pretty ridiculous. Aegis built up, Heart of Gold, he's got that Chain Vest in there. Vayne basically does hardly any damage to him, and they've managed to take that first turret of the game, and they may even look to push through for the inner.
I mean, just look at the level difference we have right now between Cyanide and I'm So Fresh. 3 levels in his favor. And 4-0-7 Shogat now with that Chain Vest, like you're saying. They're going to push the second turret down, aren't going to be contested in any way, and this gold lead is just really getting extremely one-sided right now, Joe.
Yeah, 17.5 minutes in. Fnatic going to be taken away from the jungle. Or at least the big golem. Gonna leave the small one for I'm So Fresh to figure out later. And there is Reckless actually going in towards the Baron pit. They are going to be kicking that one off. Ari there just stealing away that big Wraith. And is going to back away. We'll see if Millenium can say anything about this dragon. Not really. Not with Cyanide in there, who's got Smite plus the Nom at the end to really finish things off. It's really hard to get in and do anything. And in the top lane, yeah, they're going head-to-head again. Ignite is actually down. There's the flash, and it's going to be enough from the minions, actually, to finish off that kill. And Soaz just showing how strong he is now in this top lane. He's still a little bit behind with the CS, but he is 3-1-6 compared to the 0-2-0 of Irelia, who's now gone in for that Sheen. So kind of half building a little bit here.
Yeah, and you heard Demon saying during the announcements that Soaz probably the best top laner in the world at the moment, or at least at Europe and North America, because North America doesn't seem to be doing much lately out of anything. But I'm fresh in the top lane, just pushing it out, trying to get a little bit more farm. And I mean, look at this, just the total gold accumulated per champion right now. I mean, we see Aurelia 4,600 to the 6,600 of Shen. I mean, that 2,000 gold difference is so much. As an Aurelia as well, I mean, you're going to need the items. Obviously, you want to farm up towards this late game where you have Cretan who, on that vein, going to be very deadly tabs on Diana as well. But are they going to make it that far? And Joe, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that the front line that they've got with Cyanide, he is so ridiculously tanky. I mean, look at him. He's just giant and very strong. And
he's building the perfect item he needs right now. That Frozen Heart to completely counter out Aurelia, completely counter out Xin's out, and the big thing, Vayne.
Look at this. Look at this red buff. That is pretty damn amazing. You don't see that very often. I mean, done by Cyanide, left a little bit there, ultimate coming in from Reckless across the map to take the red buff. Like, that's how good Fnatic are as a team right now. And I'm not sure that Millenium have really got that kind of teamwork embedded in them up until now. Meanwhile, Creatine may have a bit of trouble in this top lane. Cho'Gath and Ezreal are coming in. That red buff is on Ezreal. All he needs is that one auto attack. There's the ultimate coming out of Leona. Creatine actually uses the cleanse, but it means absolutely nothing against that combo. Heavy on the CC, heavy on the damage. 14-4. Fnatic looking very good. PK actually might get caught out in the middle. He's going to use his ultimate to charge away. I'm So Fresh underneath the tower. Actually will get knocked away there by the ultimate, and Shen's coming in. They're going to turn this one around. I'm not sure that they really wanted to go for a fight there with PK being so low, but they've done the job. He's escaped from that one, and in the whole time that was going on, Fnatic have pushed down turret number 3 on the top lane.
Yeah, you mentioned Millenium and just how they kind of don't seem to have the synergy at the moment, but we have to keep in mind they're generally a new team. Yeah, they have 3 members currently from Eclipse. They have 2 members from Curse, but I mean, switching 2 or 3 members for your team is huge. You need time to learn how they play. You need time to just actually communicate well correctly, or communicate well as a team. And it just seems like they don't have that necessarily down yet, because they are down 10,000 gold, Joe.
Yeah, 10,000 gold, 20 minutes in. It's a big total to be trying to come back from. The Soaz here is going to go again head-to-head with Angush. Angush actually winning this one out there with that Ignite and the ultimate burning as well. What is it about baiting this Aurelia in? Ari is actually just up there doing that blue buff. Decides not to come down from that one. Meanwhile, Reckless and Enrated switch to that middle lane, so they're really doing their job across the entire map here, just pushing wherever they can, trying to get those turrets down, working as a unit of 2. And we talked about that kind of godlike bottom lane that we saw earlier in Enrated's career with Yellow Star at the likes of Against All Authority, and for a while in Fnatic as well. But this Reckless Enrated lane is turning out to be a devastating combo.
Yeah, I mean, and what they're doing is, like you're saying, just roaming around from lane to lane. How can you stop a 4-0 and 6 Ezreal who has Infinity's Edge and a Phantom Dancer done? Yeah. And then you have, Cyanide sticking around as well, trying to help them out if they need it. There's just nothing you can do about it. They can just shove these lanes into them, and, Millenium just really has no answer. And it's unfortunate because they can't have an answer right now. Down, 4-14, over 10,000 gold, 22 minutes in. Really extremely far behind in terms of items. Even Diana, I mean, Abyss Scepter, that's it, compared to a Death Cap on Ari right now. And then Vayne, I mean, yeah, that's your core build is Vayne. You want to go for that Phantom Dancer as, a typically first item, but it's not going to be enough.
Here we go, got to push in. There's the ultimate coming from Leona. Here comes Peke from the side, though. I'm So Fresh going low. Will they finish him off? They're actually chasing Creatine as well. Let's skip over to that. A little bit of action as the silence comes down. Diana trying to get involved. Rupture will actually miss both of them. And Cyanide was being chased here by Diana, and he is going to manage to pick up that kill. But now, can they find Diana, who's inside of the jungle? They're going to have vision on it. And, well, she's going to have to try her best. He's going to get tagged up there by Reckless, which means that he's going to be be following in for that one. Tab's going to try and do the damage here to Reckless inside of the bush and almost doing it as well. But they do pick up the kill. That's another one for Reckless. He is now 5-0-7, and Fnatic doing it perfectly. Are going to push straight in on towards this middle outer turret, and that will be turret number 4 of the game. In the meantime, they were stealing away the rates, everything, every little advantage that they could squeeze from that series of kills there, they've managed to do. Yeah,
and you're seeing it in the gold, you're seeing it in the IEMs, you're seeing it in the turrets right now, as they are, I mean, trying to push down the second turret. They get some good damage to it, as you see Hedo getting very low.
Oh, they're going to go in on towards Reckless. Actually, he's going to go down here, but Angosh going to pay the price of his life. I'm So Fresh is in there against Leona. Ari, how is he going to handle this one? He's actually taking a lot more damage than he was probably waiting for with that. There is a Zenith Blade in, and a double kill for PK, and now Shenny's coming in. PK going to rush in there with the ulti charges. Where's the charm? Flashed away from by Creator. Nicely done to keep himself alive, but
and
nonetheless... Yeah, that should be another turret here with 4 of Fnatic pushing straight down. Diana is there, may get a shutdown onto Pekka here, but no. Turret goes down and they decide it's not going to be worth it. With the CC of, you know, Cho'Gath, Shen, Leona, finally Diana does go in there, but, well,
not going to move much more after that.
Not going to get any anything other than that kill, but probably worth it for the gold to pick up, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in that last little bit of skirmish, not the one that just happened, but when Tab was running away from Reckless, and I believe it was Soaz, he almost killed him. If he had Ignite, it would have worked.
That was such an obvious bait. See, a mile away. N-rated, though, actually Zenith playing right into the middle of them there. That could be bad news. Cyanide just going to leave his teammate to die. I knew that was going to happen. Are they going to try and chase off to Cyanide, though? No, they're not. Shen had just gone back as well with the recall. And that will leave us at 21-8. Lots of action, but Fnatic doing pretty much everything right here. I mean, you can't really call it a perfect game from them right now, but it's not that far off, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, we do see items developing even a little bit further. Reckless getting towards that last Whisper, still those Ninja Tabbies. We see the Unthenes and Holy Grail done for Xpeke. We have a Shurelya's, which, Joe, I know you love seeing. You love seeing the double, though. But still, anytime you see a Shurelya's, it's going to be great for your team, especially when they can chase them down so easily with the Rupture. You know, with the taunt, with the Xpeke going in, landing a charm, which he's been spot on today with his charms.
Yeah, his charms have been really impressive. And then you've got Leona getting into there. You've got Shen, who's going to taunt you back in. Like, there's a lot of CS to keep you locked down from the Fnatic side of things. Luckily for Creaton, he actually went for the cleanse.
Oh,
which
no, he's right into a bush.
Oh. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with the cleanse. Luckily for him, he had a cleanse up as the silence does come down. And meanwhile, at the top, which we completely miss due to my awesome camera work, we see Reckless actually getting caught out there by 3 from Millenium. And they're going to try and use this to get something back in this game. They're going to be starting off the Baron. There's a ward inside of that. But can Fnatic actually react to this one fast enough? Baron already down to half HP. Here come Fnatic, though, and it's going to force Millenium to back away from this one. They decide to turn around, getting on towards Enrated. Soaz off to the side. Here comes PK as well. I'm So Fresh going to go down first. We will lose out on Leona, but they may get more for this one. Angosh going low. There is a triple kill actually coming out in the end from PK. He wants the quadra from this one. Charm actually missing here. Diana going back in there. Gonna get silenced up, and this is another kill going down. It's a quadra kill on paper, as at least, if nothing else, for Ari, and that brings him up to 9-8 on PK. And just a fantastic play from Fnatic again. They realized, obviously, with that ward in the back of the Baron pit that it was being done. Now they turn it around and say, well, let's do it ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, Millenium, they went for the ballsy play. They wanted to get that Baron done.
They had to.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, you have Cyanide with Boots mobility. He has a feast. There's a ward in the pit. There's nothing you can really do against that. Fnatic will easily be able to get there in time. And as you just saw, picking up 4 kills, picking up Baron, their gold lead, 15,000. Just insane right now. I mean, you have a lot of gold currently on all members of Fnatic, minus Phylox. Or sorry, not Phylox, Unrated. I'm used to seeing him earlier playing Leona, but still, like, if you saw Unrated that last fight, I love that kind of play on a supports where he knew he was going to die. I mean, he got condemned into the wall, but he went in anyways just to lock down as many members as possible and just to allow his team to get in there and really get the kill. So great play out of him. He's actually, in my opinion, probably one of the top supports, at least in Europe.
If we look down the CS as well, it tells kind of the story of this game as well as it's gone. Only Aurelia is actually ahead out of the entire map, and he's actually going to go in on towards Soaz here, and has actually built that Ionic Spark. God rest its soul. Obviously no longer in the game for Season 3.
Oh, English might get caught here.
Trying to get away here from Soaz, but we are going to see Cho'Gath coming in for him. And getting minion blocked there, which is never the ideal thing. But guess what? Leona's coming from the bottom side. What are you going to do now, Angush? Well, die is pretty much the answer to this one. There is the feast coming down. Meanwhile, Dragon had been done by Reckless, but they may lose a tower from this. There's the ulti going across, and they're going to get involved. PK actually going to have the Shen ulti coming down. I'm So Fresh going to have the Lulu ulti on him, but Reckless is there from the backside. That's 2 kills coming down for Reckless. Tab's not quite been knocked up there, but Cyanide is pretty quick as he gets the silence in there. Let's have a look, waiting for his rupture. There it is, and Tabs flashes away from it. Meanwhile, Vayne is being pressured down by Reckless. You cannot 1v1 an Ezreal with double buff on and a Baron buff on and, well, an 8-2-8.
And he's Reckless.
And he's Reckless, yeah. So it's never going to be a good thing. This is going to be the first inhibitor of the game going down. I mean, there's not a single turret being picked up from Millenium in this one. That really tells a big story.
Yeah, with Cretan down right now for 20 seconds, they easily could close this game out. English can do nothing against his Tabs, can't do anything, as you saw right there. And GGs are called out. We will see Fnatic win their first game in the group stage.
And they look very, very strong here. And we are actually going to see one more fight just to add a bit more action to this one. And Rated actually going fairly low here. But we can see this is pretty much mopping up of everything else. And they do eventually finish off the Nexus. And that will be Fnatic in a 28-minute game here, managing to take down Millenium. As you see, Crepo looks very tired. Crepo, he half asleep on his chair, actually. So yeah, a strong performance from Fnatic. You can see there, not really any smiles. His first game, job done, I guess we can say from their point of view. They're going to be happy with how that one's gone. But that leaves Millenium on a dangerous route now. They've lost their first game. They can't afford to be losing anymore if they want to progress to the group stage.
And same with Mousesports. I mean, they're in the same boat right now.
Yep.
And Fnatic obviously not going to celebrate too much. Yeah, they won. It was pretty much a one-sided game, but you're not out of group stage yet. You're not into the semifinals. There's no point in celebrating, getting your hopes up. And still, they look so solid as you do see them there. I mean, analyzing the game just a little bit, looking at, looks like YouTube, playing some music just to keep you in the zone. But yeah, great job out of Fnatic.
Yeah, and just to run down the scores there at the end, I mean, Soaz 4-1-18, PK 9-2-13, Cyanide 8-1-15, Reckless 10-9, and Leona died 4 times, which is actually almost as much as the entirety of the other team. So that's it from us. We're going to throw it over to the Cool Kids desk, who hopefully aren't pointing in a weird way again.
Thank you very much, Joe.
That worked better before.
So, pretty much a stomp there, one-sided affair. Proven correctly there with your Vayne pick, I think.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think they try something, Millenium. I even think Fnatic thought that Millenium was going to do a lane swap. That's why Ezreal and
that's why they got caught out in that level 1 fight in their positions.
Yeah, the level 1 was horrible. I don't know what happened there. I think they were just nervous or something, because it was like Sen, Fate checking as well, and it really like they crossed each other and nothing happened like for 1 second. Then Sen turned her, then everything, all the CC came up. But it was like horrible level 1. It was like the worst level 1 you can do. And then Xin Zhao trying like to check if blue buff was clear. And
like guess what? Well. They're still there.
And we did have a replay to show you, kind of a point where they were trying to force the issue, if you will. So if you want to get it going, Daniel.
So they tried to come back to the game at minute like 14. They tried to steal blue buff from Peke, but this is what happened.
Well, it was pretty even still, but then we see this.
It's only 2Ks, not really huge difference, but then in this team fight, it was fine. Leona was back, Ezreal was bought on. It was pretty much a 4v3 at that moment, but they had 10. At 10 is global presence is amazing. And you have here Peke jumping, even flashing in the middle of them for letting Sen taunt everyone. And we see an amazing Reckless team fight, doing the team fight to 2 of them and doing so much damage. It was just perfectly played by Fnatic, and let's say somehow poorly played by Millenium.
I mean, Piqué just knew what he was doing, baited them all towards him, and then just ulted out of the danger, and then taunt across. They couldn't do anything.
Everything. It was perfectly played.
So, I mean, they knew exactly what to do. So that really got the ball rolling. That's why the game snowballed so hard. What do you think Millenium are going to do? I mean, Mousesport's going to be playing Millenium in 2 games' time. They're going to see that and thinking, okay, we can take advantages from this one. Fnatic, on the other hand, very confident, going to be going up against SKT Telecom.
I don't know. I will still
Telecom T.
Telecom T. I will still cheering for Millenium. I think they are a great team. They just need to like forget this game. You have to forget it. in this point, in an event like this, like IEM, you have to forget what you did. Bad game, okay, forget it, and let's just play like you know how to play, because they are much better than this game. They are really good players. They're a really good team. They can show highest level in this. So they have just to forget this game and play against its mouse sport.
They got to play mouse sports next year.
Completely different, with a different mentality. And they can beat mouse sport. They can beat SK Telecom. So I will be cheering for them.
So far we've predicted the results pretty correctly. It's I think they're fairly easy to call so far. But Fnatic can come up against SK Telecom next. That could be a tricky one for them.
I have to say it now, right?
Oh God, no.
Do you want or not?
Go for it. Go for it. You know, I did it at IPL 5, so why not?
You know why you're here.
I'm a really fan of this guy and this team, and yeah, I'm cheering for Fnatic. From Peque, especially from Enrique Peque.
It's not me this time. That's all I'm gonna say.
So Spanish camaraderie holding high at this event. So they traded shirts, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's got the Fnatic shirt. He's not. Don't get the Reddit posts or the Twitter feeds or the league, everything going out. He's not joining Fnatic. He's not replacing Reckless in the bottom lane. He's not the new AD.
Maybe.
Who knows? No, I actually tell you no. I'm not playing AD. Sorry. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of Peque, and I'm a really big fan of Fnatic, and I just support him.
Yeah, and you know, we just saw some fantastic plays there by him. So what do you take from this one? So if you're going to you're coming away, so we're seeing a strong win from Fnatic. The rest of the teams were there watching. We've seen some pictures that Shox has been interviewing the players, and CLG are in the background trolling her, so they're there watching. You know, what are they going to be looking at this? What are you, as another team, say a Group B team, looking at this, potentially, obviously, the top two go through. What are you thinking? What are you taking away from this? How are we seeing an improved Fnatic here, or is this just the same carrying on?
I think they didn't do anything special. Like, Fnatic just played their own style. It's not like nothing special they did. You can see, like, there are teams that come with any special strat, but at this case, he just played like mostly standard. Like their own piece, their own strategy is nothing special.
And they got really all their champions. It was a strange picks and bans, and they were quite happy to allow them to have Diana in the middle. We knew that we were up against.
Yeah, I know. It's like they just played their own style. I think Fnatic is actually superior than any other European team.
It seems to be that way. Better than Moscow 5 as well. I mean, proven at IPL 5.
I hope CLG proves me wrong, or at least makes some challenge. I would really love that.
We will see.
Or maybe the Koreans.
Maybe the Koreans, but it's Europe we're talking about here, not Korea.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an interview, though, with the player. So, without further ado, let's get over to Zoe.
Or if you're
Thank you very much, guys. I now have the pleasure of being joined by one guy of the winning team. Of course, I'm talking about Peque. And once more, but I love you. I know why you chose that name. However, let's talk a little bit about the game, which looked fairly one-sided at some point. So what was your mindset going into that game? Did you figure it was because like they just recently like got the team together as like 3 players from Eclipsia, we have like I think 2 from Curse. Do you think that was like making you more confident going into it, thinking they might not have practiced as much with each other?
Well, that was the first game of the day for us, so it's always scary. You don't know what you're gonna face, and it's a new team, so we don't know what to expect. But I was still confident, like, if we play good, and you will win anyways. So it was mostly up to us to play good. And we did really good, so that showed up.
Well, walk us through the picks and bans, because counter-picking and taking our own picks, we saw Reckless on his Ezreal, which I said during the cast you never want to see happen. You know, kind of walk us through and give us Fnatic's mindset behind that.
Well, we ban Jax against Angus most of the time. That's his strongest hero, so we have to ban it. Then we ban Evelynn because there are a lot of assassins, and Taps plays all of them. And Evelynn is like the one that is harder to counter, not for me, but for the team. She's just gonna start moving around the map, and it's annoying for everyone, so we just take her out, and I can deal with anything else. So that was the main idea of the bans.
Okay, well, during the beginning of the game, we did see the top lane. We saw your AD support up there against Aurelia, and then they switched it, like midway through. They didn't get the tower just yet, but they switched it to allow Shen to go to the top lane. Can you kind of tell us why that was done?
Well, I'm not really sure, because I was like on my mind at the point they were talking, but I heard something like they wanted to gank the bottom lane as 3. They tried, it didn't work out, but still they just swap, and it was fine for them.
What about that level 1 team fight? I mean, it wasn't even a team fight. It was more of a, hey, we killed 2 members.
Catching people that we didn't expect them to be so splitted. Like, they didn't see it come. We thought they knew we were coming, and then they were like chicken running around. They didn't know where it was coming from. Just charm one, Town, then he was dead, then Town another, charm, and he was dead.
Has there been any time in the whole game where you guys thought, like, actually the opponents could turn the tide now and take that?
Yeah, I guess when we tried to kill Diana on the river, she was at Drake, and we tried to catch her, and then she almost killed Ezreal, and we lost 2-1. I thought that fight was going to be even worse, but it was just 1-2, so we were still kind of fine, but that was the worst moment of the game for us.
Well, it still worked out great in the end. And we don't want to keep you for much longer, as you guys are about to go up against SK Telecom T1. How are you guys feeling about that match, as they just won over MySports?
Well, we played some of their members when they were in Startel a long time ago. Another Korean team. We beat them, so let's hope we can do the same here.
Well, we wish you guys good luck with that. So thanks a lot for joining me for the interview. Of course, you as well, but I love you. And we're going to throw it over to some commercials and then be right back with some community.